Good Monday morning, America. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Thanks for starting your day with us. A dramatic escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Iran after President Trump issued a fiery warning directly to Tehran. In a blunt and unusually aggressive social media post, one that included profanity, the president demanded that Iran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, saying if they don't open it, they'll be living in hell. Just watch, he says. In the very next post, the president gave them a Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern deadline to get the strait open. As you know, the strait is a main thoroughfare for oil passage. Ships need to go in and out, and while the U.S. doesn't depend on Iranian oil, that does impact the entire world. Foreign policy expert Sierra Claire with us this morning. Sierra, good to see you. Let's start with that post that was seen all around the world on Easter morning, breaking it down, very aggressive with some language we haven't heard from the president, not in this capacity. What's your take?
Well, Vanessa, I think that the Iranians and everyone else should take President Trump very seriously with this post. As we know, President Trump, he's our, deal maker in chief. He's also a real estate guy from New York. And I think this is his true thoughts. A lot of times you hear people talking about, is he playing something? Is he setting something up? This is just President Trump telling us what he's thinking and telling the Iranians what he's thinking.
Absolutely. And, we've been seeing a lot on social media since Easter Sunday, Sierra. A lot of people upset, the left mainly, that he used this kind of language. As we know, we've seen it for 12 years now since the president first came down the golden escalators. The president, if it's on his mind, it's on his lips. Therefore, it's on his fingertips on social media posts. Those mean tweets, like they like to call them, are back. We love it, because this is a man who's not your typical politician. He's a businessman, like you said, from New York. That's the language they use. And so this is him meaning business. Get it open. He's tried to bargain with them. He went in and he destructed the military there, the regime there, and now he wants that strait open, and they're trying to play hardball, but this isn't a game that I would play with anyone with President Trump on the other side. Looking back at that post, digging deeper into what he said, he mentioned Allah. The Christians in America thought it was bad timing because of Easter weekend, but it's all President Trump. He's just being sarcastic here. And if you know President Trump, and we've been following for a long time, the president and his sarcasm, this is him basically saying your God is not going to save you with what's about to rain down on you.
Absolutely, Vanessa. One thing that just happened recently in the last couple hours is we got confirmation that the U.S. and Israeli strikes that have been ongoing, that are still ongoing, actually took out one of the IRGC's number 2 guys. So as you said, President Trump is continuing to rain down on them, and nothing is changing that. However they may feel about their righteousness. And, for the people who are concerned about the language, like you said, it's sarcasm. It's President Trump trolling the other side. And it's also a good, reminder on Easter weekend that, we're on the right side of this. These are people who use their religion as an excuse to kill innocent non-Muslims. And we are actually protecting people of all religions in this war. There's many different religions that are persecuted in Iran.
You're absolutely right. And, it was such a big weekend for the president, for America, for our military, looking at what happened over the weekend, as well as we recovered successfully the second war hero who had gone down, President Trump, releasing this long, lengthy post, also seen around the world, whenever he worked through the weekend, Sierra, to make sure that this American hero was safe, no man left behind. He posted this starting off with, "We got him." What is your take on how our military went into enemy territory to make sure they successfully retrieved and, brought our service member back home. And it was a fight, but they got him.
Absolutely, Vanessa. I mean, this is just an amazing story. I've been seeing posts all weekend that say I can't wait to see the movie about this when it comes out in a few years. Those are my thoughts as well. But in terms of what we know about what happened here, this was a military feat. These search and rescue missions, they call them flying low and slow, which is the most dangerous thing you can be doing over enemy territory. And we got out with all of our crew, including the search and rescue crew, and our missing pilot. And the story of, what President Trump explained there in that post of what happened, that our military was just able to go in and operate like that over enemy country. It just really shows the precision. It shows that we're winning this war, and it shows that we will do anything to get our people back.
Absolutely. And that's why reason number 175 that I love our military is because this right here shows just how epic they are and how powerful they are and how good they are. President Trump is holding a press conference today. I want our viewers to know about that. That will be held this afternoon. They were going to have it in the Oval Office, Sierra, but since the press, they had so much information coming in from the press that they wanted to attend. They had to move it to the press briefing room. So that's where it will take place this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will have that coverage for you right here. We hope everyone tunes in for that. The president to give a statement this afternoon along with our military. So that's going to be another address almost to the nation that we all need to pay attention to. So we'll look forward to that. We have been seeing some video circulating of the carnage left behind from this operation where they went in and saved our military personnel, the two that were downed in that plane, and they went in and got them both. So there's some of that footage right there that was released by CENTCOM, I believe. And this shows too, Sierra, that they went in and destroyed our equipment after they rescued our servicemen so that the Iranians can't go in and use our equipment or any of our military assets in the aftermath. So they finished the job. They successfully rescued our two airmen, and then also destroyed our own equipment just so the Iranians can't use it. Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been very vocal about how great of a job this is going and will continue to go. And he's giving some kudos to the president, especially after this weekend, going into enemy lines, enemy territory, and saving our men, our brave men. Take a listen.
Congratulations, President Trump. All Israelis rejoice in the incredible rescue of a brave American pilot by America's dauntless warriors. This proves that when free societies muster their courage and their resolve, they can confront seemingly insurmountable odds and overcome the forces of darkness and terror. This rescue operation reinforces a sacred principle. No one is left behind. This is a shared value demonstrated time and time again in the history of both our countries. As a nation that repeatedly carried out daring rescue operations, and as someone who was wounded in such a mission and lost a brother in the Entebbe rescue, Israelis and I, we know what a bold decision you took. President Trump, Donald, my dear friend, once again, your decisive leadership brought another great victory to America. I salute you. We all do.
Absolutely, as we should. What a heroic mission, successful mission again. And I want to look at the timing of this. Sierra, a lot went on over the Easter weekend during the holiday with this war. Social media influencers, you and I have talked about this just weeks ago about how they can do so much good. I firmly believe they had a huge influence on the president winning the 2024 election, but they also, on the flip side, can do so much harm. And this weekend was another prime example as one person puts out fake news, fake video, and everyone just runs with it without it being confirmed. Let me say this, and this is going to probably ruffle a lot of feathers, but I'm okay with this. A true journalist doesn't just take something they see and run with it. You have to get it confirmed. You have to get it confirmed. Anyone can be a social media influencer. Anyone can be a podcaster. Anyone can go on air. Anyone can go on social media and just spread lies. A kid can do that. But a true journalist confirms reports before they put it out. And that was not the case this weekend. So what happened this weekend, in case you missed it, but I'm sure a lot of you didn't, is that one person put out there that President Trump was on his way to Walter Reed with a medical emergency, right? With video of the motorcade with sirens on, lights on. But when we go back and look at it, this was video from Butler when he was shot in Butler, right? So the whole country goes into a frenzy. President Trump, something's wrong with him. He hasn't made a public appearance. He hasn't spoken to the press in 24 hours. He's at Walter Reed. What is wrong with the president? Nothing. We just saw it. And I want our director to put it back up if we can. The true media, the people who actually, the few out there that truly actually confirm reports before they put it out there, said, no, the president is working in the Oval Office right now. There's the Marine outside the door. So the Marine stands at the door, takes guard, as long as President Trump is in the building. That's the building that houses the Oval Office. So that's truly where President Trump was. And this happened to be the same time, Sierra, that we were rescuing our second military man. But I want you to talk about that as well, because I know you follow closely this war that's going on and our allies and what's going on with, the future of Iran as well. But when you see this, isn't that just so disturbing that you see all of this fake news going on? People, really upset that President Trump may be ill and he's being rushed to Walter Reed, while all the while he's sitting in the Oval Office for hours on end. That's how he spent his weekend, is making sure that our war heroes are brought home safely.
Yeah, absolutely, Vanessa. I mean, let's just start with the misinformation that's been going around about this war. It's so important that you, as a journalist, are showing this footage of the planes that were destroyed by the American military, because that's another rumor that's going around, that's being spread by Iranian propaganda, that they're the ones who destroyed the planes. So we know this is going on. We know this is a danger in this war, and the Iranians are just taking every opportunity. And then here comes somebody who serves it up to them on a silver platter and makes up this rumor, as you said, gets the whole country in a frenzy. I also heard of a journalist who actually drove to the Walter Reed Hospital to see if the motorcade was parked outside, and then confirmed that it wasn't. So obviously this was completely untrue. President Trump, every time that he goes dark from the media, we hear one of these stories. They're just waiting to bring up again that he might be sick. And it's really unfortunate, because if he ever was sick, then we wouldn't know what to believe about that either, because there's been so many false times with that. And when President Trump is working on a top secret military mission that has hundreds of special operators that were operating in enemy territory over Iran. This wasn't like, 6 guys. This was a coordinated mission of hundreds of people who were all putting their lives on the line. And so that is the amount of lives that President Trump was protecting by doing a media blackout. And, the press, as you said, there's tons of experienced press corps who have covered national security for probably decades. And I'm sure they're very familiar with those types of considerations. And they're very familiar with the Marine standing at the door. We know that means President Trump is in the building. So, this was just another misinformation during wartime, which is something we don't need.
Absolutely. And the fake news, the fake, posts for clicks, for monetization, some way, somehow we have to put an end to this, because it's just too much. I feel like on some of these social media platforms, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and it's all for shares and clicks, and it's almost like you don't want to even log on anymore, and you can't trust the fake news media. Now you can't trust really a lot of times what's going on social media. Who can you trust? But again, we have to get back to, before you put it out, it needs to be verified. Maybe, I don't know, Elon's a smart man. If they put out fake information and we find out it's fake, dock them. Don't let them get monetized for that. Something. I mean, we just have to put an end to that to make sure that accurate information is going out to the public. I mean, that's journalism 101. But yes, so for everyone at home, President Trump is fine. He's doing great. He's going to be at the Easter egg roll today at the White House with First Lady Melania. And he had a very successful weekend. And we are counting down to tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern when, as he says, hell will rain down on them if they don't open up that Strait of Hormuz. So we'll be looking forward to that press conference today at 1 o'clock. Real quick, Sierra, the president, when he addressed the nation last week, he said this is going to be a 2 to 3 week timeline. Do you think with Iran not opening up the Strait, this will prolong that? What are you thinking?
Well, actually, we've been hearing reports of Pakistan negotiators, mediators have been in contact with the U.S. side and the Iran side all night this past night. And so we're hearing about a deal. We're hearing different things. Of course, as you said, social media. So we don't know. Some reports say Iran has rejected the deals. Others say they, have proposed some counterpoints. But there are actually for another misinformation that the Iranians keep putting out, that they're not talking. They are talking. And the reason they're talking is because they are beaten badly. And so I think that, it's very real possibility that we could see a deal by President Trump's Tuesday night deadline. However, again, the Iranian regime has been completely unreasonable. They may not take that opportunity, and in which case we will see this war escalate. The timeline, I think President Trump, has built all of this into his timeline, that he does have the escalation plans, and he knows that they're probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks from the time that he made that announcement. So I'm thinking that the U.S. military, is they're in their phases. They know which phase is which, and they're moving forward with that. Just waiting for the signal from President Trump to, if they get the go ahead to say, please, do go on to the next phase. We didn't get a deal.
All right, we're going to continue to watch. Again, he has a 1 p.m. Eastern press conference with the military inside the press briefing room at the White House today. Make sure you're watching LINDELLTV, the LINDELLTV app, for the very latest and live coverage from that. So watch it live on our website. Sierra, thank you so much for being here with us today and giving us your insight on everything that's going on in Iran.
Thanks.
Congress, well, they've enjoyed a nice long holiday break. President Trump didn't, even though the president asked them to stay and work through Easter to get bills passed. They didn't. ICE agents are still deployed to American airports as TSA agents. Many of them, they're looking for other work. Why? Well, remember, they dealt with a shutdown late last year. They didn't get paid during that time. And now they're dealing with another one. And during the shutdowns, they're not getting paid. They're not able to afford their mortgage or any everyday necessities. So they're looking for other work. We're hearing it all the time. Here's more from our Allison Steinberg.
Well, after nearly 50 days of gridlock and hardship, including federal workers going weeks without pay, Congress has finally reached a deal to end the longest government shutdown in American history. Long lines snaking into airport parking garages and federal workers going without paychecks, all because Democrats continue to demand open borders and zero immigration enforcement. But the most shocking disappointment came when Senate Majority Leader John Thune appeared to have caved to the Democrat agenda, agreeing to move forward with DHS funding absent ICE and Border Patrol. However, this move did not sit well with House Speaker Mike Johnson.
This has to stop. The Republicans are not going to be a party to this. They have taken hostage the funding processes of government so that they can impose their radical agenda on the American people, and we can't have any part of it. This gambit that was done last night is a joke. I'm quite convinced that It can't be that every Senate Republican read the language of this bill.
As a result, the House advanced a short-term continuing resolution, or CR, to end the shutdown and fully fund the Department of Homeland Security for 60 days, buying time until a full appropriations bill could be passed. However, the CR was dead on arrival in the Senate, where it would have required 60 votes to pass. Shortly thereafter, both chambers went into a 2-week recess for Easter vacation, leaving the bill unresolved. Thankfully, President Trump authorized ICE agents to be at major airports and signed an executive order to pay TSA workers in the interim, relieving some of the chaos in the security lines. But now there's something new in the works. In a joint statement, Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker Mike Johnson announced a new plan, fully fund DHS with a two-pronged approach. The bulk of Homeland Security operations will move through standard appropriations, exactly as the Democrats wanted, while ICE and Border Patrol get locked-in funding via reconciliation, shielding border enforcement from future cuts and delivering on President Trump's directive to end the Democrat shutdown. The drawback, however, to this path forward is time. With the clock ticking, a reconciliation bill is a lengthy process, and passage may not occur until late May or even June. Still, if successful, it would deliver long-term, ironclad funding for ICE and Border Patrol for the remainder of President Trump's term, while also covering the full duration of the shutdown and ensuring every DHS worker receives back pay. However, it also remains unclear whether the appropriations portion of this plan, which would fund core DHS operations excluding ICE and Border Patrol, even has a realistic chance of passing in the House. Hardline conservatives are furious after Speaker Mike Johnson reversed course on the matter and are now warning this split strategy possesses a serious national security risk by withholding critical funding from the agencies tasked with protecting the border and removing criminal illegal aliens from the country. Representative Keith Self stated, quote, "Funding for ICE and CBP must never be separated from DHS funding. If Republicans isolate it, they're handing our border and ICE agents straight to the radicals who will defund and dismantle them every chance they get. Fund DHS fully, or the open borders globalists win." For now, President Trump is stepping in once again with a short-term measure to address the funding crisis as Congress works toward a permanent solution. On Truth Social, he revealed he will sign an executive order providing temporary pay for DHS employees and laid out a unified Republican plan to reload and fully restore ICE and Border Patrol, bridging the funding gap while Congress works through the details. However, there is still a big question mark as to how exactly the administration intends to cover the cost. The most likely source appears to be President Trump's big, beautiful bill, the same pool originally designed for the massive deportation surge and additional personnel, not to fund normal operations. Though the one big beautiful bill may be the vehicle the president will tap, the specifics of the funding mechanisms are still unknown. And in an attempt to ease the pain on federal workers, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the Treasury and IRS will grant affected DHS employees and their families a 30-day automatic extension for this year's tax filing season, complete with penalty and interest relief. Now, after nearly 50 days of needless delay, action is finally beginning to take shape, but only after Congress has dragged its feet for weeks, inflicting unnecessary hardship on federal workers and the American people, all while lawmakers enjoy their vacations. The question now is whether this new plan will finally deliver the results Americans deserve, or if yet more delays and political games are still to come. Me? I'm not holding my breath. Reporting for LINDELLTV, I'm Allison Steinberg.
New reaction this morning from the attorney of Tina Peters. Peter Tickton has a message for Governor Potus of Colorado, saying this: "We would be extremely grateful to Governor Potus should he grant clemency to Tina Peters. It would be best if the governor could save us all the drudgery of going through another sentencing hearing by intervening with clemency to finally put an end to this whole ordeal. Tina Peters has suffered and continues to suffer," he says. Tickton's response comes after a major court decision in the high-profile case of the former Mesa County election clerk. A state appeals court has thrown out her 9-year prison sentence, but not her conviction. Peters was convicted, as you know, for her role in allowing access to voting machines following the 2020 election. She had concerns, so she looked into it. They threw her in jail. The case is now heading back to a lower court for resentencing. meaning Peters could face a reduced sentence. But her attorney wants the case to be over and has released that statement in hopes Governor Potus will put politics aside and free Tina. For more on the Tina Peters case, you can visit tinapeters.us. But in the meantime, this weekend, this picture raised eyebrows. Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert was cuddling up to Governor Potus at a baseball game on opening day. She got a lot of flack online from Tina Peters supporters. So then she posted this saying, "Free Tina." But did she really mean it, or was she trying to keep it calm? She was trying to calm the waters. Was she trying to save face from the backlash? Or maybe she did run into Potus, and maybe she did remind him that Tina needs to be let go. But I'd be betting that the conversation had nothing to do with Tina Peters and more to do with hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, and probably a seventh inning stretch. But we'll definitely keep you updated on the case of Tina Peters. Now to saving our children. They're at school for 8 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. And we hope and we pray as parents that the outside influence is positive when we drop them off at school every single morning. And that's where an organization called Students Standing Strong comes in. Terry Ann Kelly is with us this morning to talk about this organization taking over school districts all across the country. If we have Terry, we'd love to bring her in. Terry, good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Tell us about your organization and what you do for schools and at schools all across the country. All right, it looks like we're having audio problems with Terry, and we are going to get that situated, and we are going to come back to her. We're going to take a quick break because we want you to know all about this organization. It's great. It's positive for our students, and they're kind of a newer organization that we want to make sure that gets on every campus across America. We heard about Turning Point USA. We know how great they're doing, but this is another one that's doing great things. So we will get back to her, and we'll also check in with the astronauts in space. They are having a great time. They celebrated Easter over the weekend, and they also gave us a behind-the-scenes look at how intense their daily workouts are in outer space. We'll check in with them when we come back. Stay with us.
Have you ever noticed how complicated it is to get your medication? When you're not feeling well or you're running low on something, it turns into a whole process. You call the doctor, your appointment's days away, you sit in the waiting room, then you stand in line at the pharmacy, and sometimes they don't even have it. That's the old system. It is slow, it's frustrating, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I've been telling you about All Family Pharmacy. My family loves it, and I use them myself. You go online, you choose what you need, you fill out a short medical form, and one of their licensed doctors reviews your request. If it's appropriate, they write up the prescription, and it ships straight to your front door. This is how healthcare should work. If you believe in being prepared like I do, this is one of the smartest moves you can make. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use the code Lindell10 to save 10% today. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
All right, we are back with Students Standing Strong. Eager to tell you about this organization. I met one of the women in charge just a couple of weeks ago, Terry Ann Kelly. Love what you're doing. Tell us all about the organization taking over school districts all across the country.
We are so blessed. I'll tell you what happened. So we have 5 children, a daughter and 4 sons, and They were in Christian school, Vanessa, and my husband came and said, "We've got to quit this. We've got to move them into public to save for college." And so what happened was, is our middle son, Colt, was in 5th grade when he entered the public school system. And at the end of 5th grade, they were going to go on to middle school. So in the spring of his 5th grade year, I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? They're going to be walking in the public school room doors, and I'm all for public school. Don't hear me wrong. But I was concerned that everything we had done and taught them through Christian school, through church, through family devotions, the whole 9 yards, that he would begin to see things and be, maybe his faith is starting to be come into question for him as he began to expand into larger worlds, which we all have to do. And so God just downloaded an idea for me 22 and a half years ago that I would invite all the 111 5th graders at his new public school to come to our house just to hear about what it means to learn to live God's way. And I mailed them all out on lime green paper to all of the students in that 5th grade public school, his last year. And they opened up that invitation. It said, learning to live God's way. We invited them to our home. And I thought maybe that 10 kids would come with their parents. We also invited siblings, which could easily fit into our house. But no, we started getting RSVPs for that party at that public school. And we ended up with over 300 people, 175 out of 112 students, their parents, and their siblings were going to come to our house. But God, in his foreknowledge, Vanessa, we lived inside of a big park, and we walked down the steps to the park, and we moved all those people because they wouldn't have fit in our home. And there we presented the 10 Commandments, what those look like to 5th and 6th graders. We also gave the plan of salvation at that big party. And I thought I was kind of one and done. And we sent on then to our son into that fall into the public middle school. And all of that to say is that from that one little party at the park, a party with a purpose, we ended up moving into a full-time ministry that I could not even quit or stop the role of that movement if I'd wanted to. And so now here we are 22 years later. We have those strong send-off parties that happen for the end of 5th grade or 6th grade that are led by parents. We also then have week by week middle school / junior high clubs, and they do, there's about 90 lessons to take them through either middle school or junior high once a week on the public school campus, which, by the way, is fully legal. As you probably know, Vanessa, as long as student-led Christian clubs on public school campuses are just that, student-led. And so we connect students at school to learn, live, and lead biblical truth. And we do that in junior highs, middle schools, 5th and 6th grades, intermediate schools, and all the way through senior high schools, and just equipping students to stand strong in their faith and learn how to lead their faith to their peers at school. So that was
an amazing journey that you started. Yes, I mean, this started as an idea, and you brought your son's friends over, and it just exploded from there. And I'm loving what you do, and I'm so glad you're here to talk about it, because we want this on more campuses. We know that you're already, all over the country, but the more the merrier. Before we went to break, I talked about Turning Point USA and how Charlie Kirk was able to, and Turning Point still is, opening chapters all over the country for high school, college kids. But this is younger than that. And that's exactly what we need. We need these kids to get that environment, that Christian environment, before they head off to high school. So the younger we can get them to live good Christian lives, the better. So if someone's watching right now, Terry Ann, and they want to bring this to their campus, how can they do so?
So you would go to our website, which is MY, and then S, and then the numeral 3.org, mys3.org, and you'll find out all about it.
That's so good. I love it. And so when someone goes to your website, I was actually looking it up last night and reading all of the great things that you do. You already mentioned this, and I want to go more into this. These are student-led organizations. So that's how we're able to bring these on campus, because the students have that right and that freedom to bring this onto campus and live by the Lord's word. So can you elaborate on that more, on how a student could bring this maybe to their principal or to the school district and say, look, I want students standing strong on my campus?
Yes, so it's very easy to do. You go online to our website, mys3.org, and then it'll literally simply take you through how to bring a club to your school. And so we always use a behind the scenes adult coordinator. It could be a mom, it could be a teacher that behind the scenes, not on campus, just prepares students on their one-page lesson. It's back and front. They don't even have to remember to bring their Bible to school. All the scriptures are embedded in the lesson. And then, so these are just a few examples of our fruit snacks curriculum for middle schoolers. There is no leader's guide, which makes it so much easier for a student to lead if he's leading off the same piece of curriculum that all the students in the classroom at school have. Normally they meet before school, after school on campus, during lunch, and some schools even, Vanessa, have a school club time. So I will just also tell you the high school lessons still are just one page. One of them is Overboard. It's called Surviving Storms with Joy, verse by verse through James, one page, back and front. And then we have another curriculum that's one page back and front as well. And it is called Reborn to Lead. You've heard people say, you're born to lead. You're a born leader. Well, we believe that all students, no matter what their giftings are, or no matter if they're quiet or shy or outgoing or like to talk, they all have a leadership gift. And so we want to teach them through Reborn to Lead, how they can be a leader and they're called by God to be a leader. And then one last curriculum, another curriculum we have for high school is a verse by verse through Philippians. It's called Overboard, Surviving Storms with Joy. We have another one, I think I already mentioned the Get Real, Live What You Believe, which is verse by verse through James. So what we believe is that if students could own their own faith, and they own it easier if they're actually taking it upon themselves, Vanessa, to lead, to literally lead it in front of their peers. And we are currently raising in the United States today the loneliest, the most hopeless. They feel hopeless inside. They feel like they have no purpose. And you combine loneliness, purposelessness, and all of those things combined, and we really have a generation that's struggling, but they are also the greatest generation that we've raised in the sense there's so much opportunity for them.
And
So,
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times we're seeing that these kids, we're seeing it more and more, whether it's bullying in school or they just feel alone. Now they have another organization they can come to where
yes,
they can feel like they have someone to talk to, and they can meet together and pray together
right.
and talk about the good works of the Lord. So this is wonderful, and I'm glad. I love the curriculum, because that makes it easier for the group at school to not have to do
Yes.
or bring in their own assignments. You provide that as well, and that's all great Christian assignments that they get to look at. I love it, Terry Ann. This is great.
Thank
So
you.
Students Standing Strong, they can go to your website.
Mhm.
They can look up how to get involved, and tell us, maybe one success story. Is there a story that really sticks in your mind from maybe a student who is going through a bad
Okay.
time and this changed them? What are
Sure.
you hearing?
Well, let me just give you a case in point real quickly. So when there was a young man in middle school that started coming to Students Standing Strong. His name was Tyler. And a lot of our clubs run 100 students every week. We have one right now that's running 300 students on campus every week on their public school campus. Well, Tyler was in one of these very large high school meetings for Students Standing Strong. And the lesson was, why am I so hard on myself? And it talked about that a lot of times that kids that cause trouble at school, it's because inwardly they're so insecure. Or a lot of times it's kids that are really popular, but they feel like people like them for the wrong reasons. So during this lesson, full auditorium of kids for Students Standing Strong at school, Tyler jumps up and he says, this lesson is all about me. Now, let me just give you background quickly. Tyler was considered the biggest bully at this middle school, had even beaten up a teacher. And he said, this lesson's all about me. And he looked around the room at all those kids standing up alone by himself while they were sitting. And he said, I need to apologize to all of you, because you probably can't stand me because the way I've treated most of you all year long. And he said, I need to know how to have Jesus Christ as my Savior. Now, the kids are just stunned hearing from this young man, and he's only in junior high. And so he actually then prayed to receive Christ as his Savior. The other students that were in the club meeting stood up, went over and prayed over him. in this room of 150 students, many who were believers, and then some like Tyler who were not. And so that has been just several years ago, and he still calls me to keep up with him because our adult I was the coordinator at that particular school because my children were there. But our adult coordinators, which are teachers, volunteer parents, youth pastors, they can come on campus, do it all legally, and just support kids as long as the kids are teaching. And I want to encourage everyone that's listening today, if you're listening, just know, mom, dad, teacher, whoever you are, that God has a calling on our lives. You don't have to be a public speaker. Maybe your calling is to actually walk alongside a student to encourage them in a very hard public school situation. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone can have hope through Jesus Christ. And our number one job as parents and grandparents is to raise up our children to be this godly generation, because they're our only hope as a country, but Jesus is their only hope for life and a future in heaven.
Love to hear those success stories.
Is that a good summary?
I love it. I mean, that is exactly what we wanted to hear, is that it's people like Tyler whose lives are being changed because of this organization, Students Standing Strong. We need this on every campus in America, junior high, middle school ages. This is exactly what they need. Terry Ann, so good to have you on the show today for telling us all about Students Standing Strong. I encourage everyone to go to your website, check it out, and start a chapter at your school. Keep us updated. I would love to maybe talk to one of these students one day and hear their stories and how this is impacting our youth.
Well, we'll get them on your show for sure. That's an easy thing for us. And it's the curriculum to students and schools, it's all free. So that's a good thing too. There's no payment involved from students to be able to have a club.
Good to know. Terry Ann, good to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. You be blessed.
Let's check in with our astronauts now in outer space. Looking at live pictures from NASA, the Artemis 2 crew is officially at the moon. They're entering a critical phase in the mission. They are preparing for a historic lunar flyby on the far side of the moon. That's taking place today. And during this pass, they'll temporarily lose communication with Earth due to the moon blocking signals. This is the first time humans have gone this far into space since 1972, and it's a tight squeeze in that spaceship, but they're still finding room for a workout. They have to daily for their bodies to stay aligned with being in space. Watch this cool workout routine.
Exercise is part of our daily routine up here at the International Space Station to make sure that we can maintain our bone density and our muscle mass. The ARED, the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, is how we lift weights in space. You can set up various configurations on ARED to pretty much accomplish any standard weightlifting exercises you would do in a gym. Squats, deadlifts, bench press, you name it, you can do it here on the ARED. Right now I'm set up for sumo squats today, and squats are some of the most important exercises we can do to maintain the loading on our lower bodies. So to ensure that we maintain our bone density and our muscle mass. So sumo squats, here we go. The only tough part right now while we exercise is that this is the cupola right behind me. So we have the most incredible view of the Earth. Right now it's nighttime out there, so I think I'll float over and take a look at all the city lights and stars.
And I will get
now I am on the treadmill that we have on the International Space Station. We use this for cardiovascular exercise. We have the treadmill, and then we also have the cyclopedia in addition to the weightlifting machine here. So today I'm doing a running protocol of short sprints. Right now I'm in my warm-up period, and then I'll do a series of intervals for those sprints. As you can see, I'm very harness to keep me down on the treadmill. Of course, if I don't have these bungees and a series of chains pulling me down to the treadmill, I wouldn't be able to stay in position, and I would just float off with every step. So, welcome to G2. I'm going to enjoy my run. In addition to weightlifting, cardiovascular exercise is of course very important to maintain the health of our cardiovascular system. We have two options for this. We have the CUSSES, the cycloergometer, basically a stationary bike built specifically for space. And then we also have a treadmill where you wear a harness to keep you down in contact with the treadmill. Today I'm on the CUSSES, so I'm doing one of the protocols that our trainers have set out for us. As you can see, no seat, no handlebars required when you're bicycling in space. We have these little handrails up on the sides and on the bottom to help hold you down, to kind of help you when you really ramp up the wattage, can help keep you in contact and be able to drive your legs a little bit further. So today's a CUSSES day. Let's get at it.
How fun is that with her hair sticking up? And over the weekend, the crew had an Easter egg hunt with each other inside the spaceship and a powerful Easter message for everyone here on Earth.
I'm glad you brought that up, though. I think these observances are important. And as we are so far from Earth and looking back at, the beauty of creation, I think for me, one of the really important personal perspectives that I have up here is I can really see Earth as one thing. And, when I read the Bible and I look at all of the amazing things that were done for us who were created, it's you have this amazing place, this spaceship. You guys are talking to us because we're in a spaceship really far from Earth, but you're on a spaceship called Earth that was created to give us a place to live in the universe, in the cosmos. I think maybe the distance we are from you makes you think what we're doing is special, but we're the same distance from you, and I'm trying to tell you, just trust me, you are special. In all of this emptiness, this is a whole bunch of nothing, this thing we call the universe. You have this oasis, this beautiful place that we get to exist together. I think as we go into Easter Sunday, thinking about, all the cultures all around the world, whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing and that we got to get through this together.
Well, for someone who didn't have anything prepared, that was really quite extraordinary.
It was extraordinary. The crew will travel about 252,000 miles from Earth, and that will break the Apollo 13 distance record for humans in space. They'll be capturing great images of the moon's far side, shooting a modern Earthrise photo, studying potential future landing sites, and testing spacecraft systems for future missions. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Have you ever noticed how complicated it is to get your medication? When you're not feeling well or you're running low on something, it turns into a whole process. You call the doctor, your appointment's days away, you sit in a waiting room, then you stand in line at the pharmacy, and sometimes they don't even have it. That's the old system. It is slow, it's frustrating, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I've been telling you about All Family Pharmacy. My family loves it, and I use them myself. You go online, you choose what you need, you fill out a short medical form, and one of their licensed doctors reviews your request. If it's appropriate, they write up the prescription, and it ships straight to your front door. This is how healthcare should work. If you believe in being prepared like I do, this is one of the smartest moves you can make. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use the code LINDELL10 to save 10% today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
All right, the markets were closed on Friday for Good Friday, but they're back open this morning. Looking at our marketwatch.com website here to see live numbers from the big board. The Dow down just a little bit, not too bad. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ up, good to see. That the numbers are doing well this morning. Markets are reacting to President Trump's warning to Iran and a Tuesday deadline to open the Strait of Hormuz. There's some cautious optimism that this war will be ending soon, or a ceasefire deal could be taking place any moment. We're hoping that's the case. There's also a big week ahead also. Markets are bracing for inflation data, Fed minutes, and major earnings. So we will be watching Wall Street very closely throughout the week. Our daily Bible verse of the day comes from the book of John, and the Bible says this. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? Have a good day, America. We'll see you tomorrow.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com.